Abraham, I've been doing this and this. Well, that's pretty good, but that won't get you where you want to be. I know. It hasn't been getting me where I want to be, and I don't like it, and it keeps happening over and over again. Let me tell you about it. And we're saying, don't do that anymore. Don't do that. Don't take action until you feel not just a hopeful feeling. Don't take action until nothing could keep you from it. Don't take action until the momentum is so strong that there is nothing that could keep you from it. You get the idea. Well, I will take this action in order to bring that about. And when you introduce that action, instead of it feeling better, it feels worse because there's some sort of contradiction going on in your vibration. So then you say, but I don't know what to do. If I do nothing, that doesn't feel right. And if I do something, that doesn't feel right. What should I do? And we say, when it feels wrong either way, just hold tight and say to yourself, this isn't the time for an action journey. This is the time for an emotional journey. Now, that's what you think you've been doing. You said, I thought that I was doing that because then I'd get the inspiration. And so our encouragement to you is sit with the inspiration just a little while longer. Don't jump into action the moment that the idea comes. Play it out in your mind a little bit. Imagine it a little longer. Try to get into the vortex relative to other subjects and then milk it a little longer. So here's the way we would do it. We'd get into the vortex on one of those subjects that you say there are so many things going well in your life. So we'd get into the vortex. And then we'd milk being there. And then you'll find yourself feeling good. An idea will come. You'll feel the impulse to respond to it. You'll realize that the impulse came and you didn't get thrown out of the vortex. And the idea will get stronger and feel stronger until you'll feel compelled to offer that action. It won't be action trying to compensate for misalignment. It will be action inspired from alignment. And we promise you, you will know the difference. It will feel so, when Esther decided that she wanted to be with Jerry, everybody in her life said, don't do it. Everyone in her life said, don't do it. And Esther said to every single one of them, I'm doing it. Get over it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Nothing in this universe could stop me from this. She could feel this vortex. He had been in her vortex for such a very long time. The moment she laid eyes on him, she recognized him for who he was. She had to beat him down a little bit to make him understand, but in other words, when you have that sort of knowing, no one can talk you out of it. And until you have that kind of knowing, don't mess with it. Until you know it so strong that nothing could keep you from it, don't take the action. You can be observing something that's not so good, and maybe it's irritating you, maybe it's frightening you, maybe it's just frustration. It could be anywhere in that range of unwanted emotions, strong or not so strong. And as you focus there, you cause a vibration within you to reverberate in response to whatever it is that you're observing. You just let often that circumstance train you into a vibrational frequency. And then everything that happens to you now, this could take a while, now, reflects what you've got going on vibrationally. Now, what you've got going on vibrationally is always reflected to you by what you feel. But what happens to you so often is you become accustomed to feelings that are indicators of vibration that's going to reflect back to you more stuff that you really don't want so much. But you're hardy, we know. You take those classes, those stiff upper lip classes. You take those wrestle it to the ground and kill it classes. You take those life isn't supposed to be fair or fun classes. You take those I'm strong and I'm hardy and I can endure and I can persevere and life isn't supposed to be fun. And we say, yes, it is. It's supposed to be fun, not just now, but always. And what you're going to come to realize as you play with this more and more in a conscious, deliberate way is that it is oh so fun to witness something unwanted, maybe something really unwanted, because in the knowing of what you don't want, there is a bounce or the other end of that vibrational wavelength that knows exactly what you do want. And even though you can't maybe speak what you want because you're so embroiled in what you don't want, what you do want's bouncing out of you, bouncing out of you, bouncing out of you, because friends, you just got to know how obvious it is when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. In other words, that's that deciphering process, isn't it? And when you really don't want it, you really do want something else. And when you sort of don't want it, you sort of don't want something else. But this process helps you to define whether you can speak it or not. So, you know what happens when you say, I gave up on it? You didn't give up on your dream because you can't. Your dream is still alive and well and will torture you until you line up with it. So when you say, I've given up on it, what you say is, I'm just not trying to come into alignment. And we say, well, that's not too good, because when you don't make the effort to line up with your dream, then you just sort of accept the discord and discomfort that you feel. You see what we're getting at? You hear that, don't you? Yes. Give in to the success of your dream and watch the resources of the universe back you up. Give into it. Give into it. Give in to the inevitable achievement of all that you have vibrationally already become. You know, it wouldn't be painful if you hadn't become it. If you said, I sort of kind of thought I wanted it, but then I decided I didn't want it, and now I'm just sort of blissful in the not doing of that, then we would say you didn't give up on a dream, you never had a dream that you're out of alignment with. But when you say, I had this dream, and it tortured me so long that I gave it up, and I'm still tortured. You're still tortured. You say, I gave it up, but you're still tortured. You know what that torture tells us? The dream is alive and well. You're just not in the vicinity of it, you see. Mm-hmm. Because if it wasn't alive and well, and you weren't in the vicinity of it, we'd be talking about something else. We watch so many people in the building of relationships or companies or empires or life works. And we want to say to them that the majority of their building took place before they put the first brick in the first building or wrote the first word on the first script page. In other words, there's so much foundation that you were in the process of. And the foundation, from what we can feel from you, will go into place very quickly for you. We're in no way trying to prepare you for a long process. In fact, the process has started today. And the reviving of the dream is not just the first step, it's the biggest and most important step. It's huge, you see. Now feel the difference in the way you feel. You're not the same person who sat down here a moment ago. Because of our rambling, you've lined up with your vision. You've lined up with your dream. And the resources that create worlds are now flowing in the direction of you. Now your work, and you can't get it wrong. Don't worry if you have a down moment or a uncomfortable moment. You now know what to do. And what is it? What is your work? So what are some of the things you do that prevent you from getting into the vortex? And you understand this vortex is just this high, non-resistant energy place where you rendezvous with the source. Esther's in the vortex, otherwise she could not receive Abraham with this clarity. In other words, she is up to speed with the vibration that is us, and that's why the conversation is seamless between the intent of that which we are offering and her ability to deliver it. That's in the vortex. When you're in the vortex, that's when your inspiration is at its greatest. That's where authors and artists and musicians, that's where those that you call masters often find what they call their inspiration. They're in the vortex where they have clear view of not only the idea, but the path to which it will unfold. When you're in the vortex, things unfold for you in a way that there's no question in your mind that that's the thing to do. You know how sometimes you say, I don't know whether to go this way or that way. You're not in the vortex, because if you were in the vortex, you'd say, I'm going this way and I don't care what anybody thinks about it. When you say, those people over there and their philosophy is really awful and their philosophy is going to bring us all down, you're not in the vortex. And it's not their philosophy that's bringing you down. It's you not being in the vortex that's not bringing you up. No one can bring you down, but your standards of how up you really are keep changing. And if you don't stay up to speed with who you are, you don't feel good. So, what's the difference between a higher, faster vibration and a lower, slower one? Higher, faster feels better. It's what joy and love are. Lower, slower feels worse. It's what depression is. It's what despair and fear are. Higher, faster has less resistance. Lower, slower has more resistance. So really, the operative word that we're talking about here today is, as I stand in my human form, what is it that I could do a better job of controlling that would make the most difference in my life? And we want to say to you, if you'll get a bead on your resistant tendencies and work them into less resistance, your vibration will raise. You'll hover on the brink of the vortex, or you'll pop in often. Once you get in there, you'll be able to maintain your vibrational stability longer, so the vortex won't keep spitting you out. It's interesting. You do. You focus on something that makes you feel good, and you get in there. Feels really good. Then you remember something. Start focusing on it. The vortex spits you right out. Because if you're not up to speed, you can't sustain that vibration, you see. To be fair to you, this conversation would have gone a lot differently if you had sat for 15 minutes and allowed your vibration to raise and had come into complete sync with your vortex. And then you would sit and you would chat about what's in your vortex. And many of you would say, well, Abraham, if I do that, then I don't need to come here and talk with you. And we say, good. Good. We don't want you to ever see us as the sounding board for unveiling problems. We want you to see us as the support system of everything that you are and everything that you're asking for. We want you to understand that your vortex is your sounding board for all of the wonderful things. Have you ever gone to lunch and wanted to complain to somebody and they're just so damn positive they don't let you complain? And you think, well, it'll be a long time before I go to lunch with you again. And they're thinking the same thing. So we're just asking you to make your statement of intention. What is the intention in this segment of life experience? Is your intention to chart thoughtways that will lead to a construction of a project that's just going to thrill you when it manifests? Or is your intention to construct something that doesn't please you? And of course, that's a ridiculously simple question, because of course the answer is, I always want to construct something that will please me when I get there. We just want you to understand that every single minute of every single day, you have the option of constructing wanted or unwanted things. Period, 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 period. In other words, you're either constructing something wanted or unwanted, and you can tell by the way you feel which you are doing. So over time, we've been saying to you that if you have a desire and your belief is the same as your desire, that's really what positive expectation is, then it has to be, and it has to be fast. Because your desire is pure, there's no resistance to it, and it's flowing to you. And you've proved that out in your own life, haven't you? The things you expect come easily to you. It's the things you don't expect that keep seemingly messing up your experience. Someone the other day says, I don't want to work there, but I have no choice. What an awful trap. I want more money, but I can't figure out how to get any. I want a mate, but I can't find a mate. And we say, when you want and you equally or greater doubt the thing you want, then you hold yourself in what feels like a tug of war to you, and it literally is a tug of war, because in your doubting you have introduced a resistance that does not allow you to go to the vortex where what you want is. So over time, we've said to you, when you want it and believe it, it is. Then we began telling you that you are a creator, and that if you are a deliberate creator, which means you think more about what you want, you script it, you write about it, you talk about it, that more of the things that you want will begin to come into your experience. Be more deliberate in your intent, we said to you. Then we watched you. You worried about your thoughts too much then. You got the idea that every word that popped out of your mouth was going to bring immediate response to that word. So you said, cancel, 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 as you tried to suck back the word before law of attraction took it away and ran with it. And so then we began explaining to you that well-being really is the basis of your experience, and that you have much latitude and leeway. And that if you will think about allowing what you want to come, that there is a step 3 process. Life causes you to do step 1, ask. Source answers, and today we're telling you not just answers. Source literally becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you're asking for and holds it in this vortex where law of attraction is gathering. Step 3 is you got to figure out how to be a vibrational match. And then for a while, we offered you the analogy that when you ask, Source answers. And as law of attraction responds to Source holding the fullness of all you've asked for.